Hello, welcome to this conversation session. This is number 11 of 13, which we foolishly decided to undertake for this year's NZ Webfest. And this is a panel of people who are up for the award for Best Student Short Film. So, welcome to you all. We'll get into it very shortly. Just no real housekeeping to do, but if you're watching this live, the festival has a couple of days to run, so and you can go to nzwebfest.co.nz and you'll be able to find your way to see the films that we're going to be talking about here. If you're seeing it after the festival has closed, you were too slow, and you won't be able to see them playing as part of the festival. But if anybody's got their work published online, we'll include some links to that in the description that's below the video. So hopefully one way or another you'll be able to find something and get a good look at what these people are all capable of. So let's dive on in. We'll start off with the 2 cent tour. We'll give each of you an opportunity to introduce yourselves and introduce the short film that you've got in the festival today. So, Rachel, you were first through the door, and you've already had a stab at this last week on our animation panel. So, tell us about you and yours.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Rachel. It's lovely to meet you all. Um, so I'm the director of Chrysalis, which is an animated short that we made using Unreal Engine. It was the capstone project for my master's degree, and I made it with myself and a team of four other artists. So we had Brock Chavez, Robert Wilkins, Philip Matic, and Wade Lee. I was working alongside to create this short film.
Brilliant. All right, thank you. James, you're muted.
Yoda, hello.
Hello.
Uh, I'm James Tweddle. I'm one of the co-directors for Temporal, which is a sci-fi short film that we shot last year as part of the Toy, Toy Facari final project. Uh, we made it with a very small group of people and a very small budget, and we went on a very fun adventure out Mount Ruapehu to shoot it, which was a lot of fun.
All right, excellent. Acacia,
Kia ora, I'm Acacia. My, I'm the writer director of My Years of Fear and Trembling, and it's about debut novelist who's written a novel inspired by her relationship with her mum, and it kind of follows their deteriorating relationship leading up to the days of her book reading.
okay, thank you. Tasmin,
Kia ora, I'm Tasman. I'm the producer of Grubber, which is written and directed by Annika Peterson. Grubber follows the story of a meat convenience worker who becomes obsessed with a customer and the lengths she goes to kind of get into a different lifestyle. It was born from our joint experience of working at Countdown and some of the dehumanizing treatment that we face there. Yeah.
all right, thank you. You're all here, obviously, in the students category, so you're all reasonably early in the sort of development of your career. So you're still at the age where there's plenty of opportunity to learn and plenty of opportunity to develop. So I'd like to sort of ask you to talk a little bit about something that was valuable that you learned from making this production. So either, I mean, it can be a positive or a negative learning experience, but something that you'll carry forwards and sort of, you know, benefit from in whatever comes next. James, do you want to kick us off on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me working on this project was having a really solid core creative team. We had throughout the entirety of pre-production all the way through to post about four people who were locked in from the very beginning. We'd been working on the story and the script from a couple of years prior, and we've kind of kept that same core creative team throughout, and being able to communicate and I guess sort of be on the same page and work creatively together and understand where each other are coming from with our inspirations and everything has been super invaluable. And it's something that we're carrying forward together as like a core team under Aurora Vision. And yeah, a lot of value in a good core team.
All right. So, Tasmin.
Yeah, I mean, Grubber was made as part of Mercer University Screen Arts third year major project. And I definitely learnt like the value of the people around me and how important it is to like have a good team surrounding you. We started off with like a group of friends and it just got into it was such like an amazing community and set balance for Grubber. And we had quite a few production challenges along the way, but like having people that I could rely on to help keep moving it forward was definitely the biggest part of learning for me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, I'll try to a different answer this time. Um, I yeah, I mean obviously the working with a team as well, but on like a technical perspective, I think Chrysalis was the first time that any of us had really done any practical motion capture. So that was like a really massive learning thing for us in terms of just learning the really the limitations of that and also directing people when they don't have an environment to interact with was quite a different experience. Definitely learned a lot of things that probably wouldn't do again. Like we had a little creature who has kind of rabbit-like legs, and that just took so much cleanup on my end with the animation and foot contacts and everything. So yeah, definitely like a learning experience on that front for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, learning what not to do is as valuable as learning what works. So it certainly helps going forward to know not to go down a particular road more than once. It's always good to make new mistakes, not repeat the old ones. And so, Acacia.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot of things, but one of them was how important casting the right actors were. I My film's about a Taiwanese mother and daughter, and there's not many Taiwanese people in New Zealand, and I somehow found two, but I think they related to the script and the cultural context a lot more than um, like a regular person would, and infused a lot of their own experiences and kind of nuances into the story that really helped brought it to life. I don't think it would have been like worked so well without them. And half the scripts was in Mandarin, which I'm not completely fluent in. And so having them there kind of deciding what to have in Mandarin, what not to, and weaving that through the story was really helpful. So yeah, that was putting kind of time and effort into finding the right people for the story.
Okay, thank you. In terms of obviously you made these as student productions towards your qualification, so you're under a certain amount of time pressure to deliver, by a certain date, whatever the course requirements are. But in terms of how you chose this particular piece to carry forward, because nobody's ever got just one idea. Nobody's kind of wakes up in the morning and oh yeah, and they just follow that one all the way through. So what was it about the idea behind this that sort of gave it the stickability and the ability for you to attract other people to that project? Tasmin, do you want to start us with that one?
Yeah, well, Grubber wasn't the only production that I worked on in my final year of uni, but this one, it's a very close story to me, having worked at in a supermarket for 5 years with the director. It was a great opportunity to kind of poke fun at and relate the story to the people around us while we're pitching. Everyone's had a customer service job. Everyone's had some sort of experience of customers and employment that's not great. So it was a great way to make a film that related to a wide group of people, but also held its own story. And I think it had some amazing creative challenges that I personally wanted to face and figure out as producer. So it was a really enticing project to like want to be a part of, and help get to the finish line in that way.
Right, thank you. James.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into it, we knew we wanted to challenge ourselves creatively with some interesting visual effects shots. We wanted to kind of really push the art side of things. So we knew we wanted to build some sort of set. We knew we wanted to build some sort of interesting practical costume. And I think those challenges that we kind of laid out for ourselves allowed us to sort of create the box to, I guess, or the walls to sort of tell our story within. Like we knew we wanted these key elements in the film, and the story kind of came around the art rather than the other way, which maybe is a bit atypical. But that also helped draw in a lot of the support because we had a lot of these strong visual ideas from the offset with test footage and early costume tests and visual effects tests. And so that actually helped bring on a lot of other great artists and collaborators when they saw what we were cooking up visually. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Acacia.
So I we were pitched kind of an idea that we then I think my relationship with my mum has always been something I had to contend with and work through, and I wanted to also challenge myself and see if I could kind of channel that into writing and write something. And I think kind of trying to pick apart the stickiness of that relationship. Found lots of people relating to that relationship. And I also have lots of kind of dream allegorical scenes in the film that kind of play with ideologies of the past to then refuse them. And so playing with those surrealist elements, I think we're able to kind of tell the story in another way, versus just kind of showing it realistically.
All right, thanks. Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, coming up with the concept definitely wasn't a linear process. There was a lot of back and forth in terms of developing the story. But there were definitely themes that I think carried through with every iteration. Particularly, the story is about a archaeologist on an alien planet who has to sort of she's very protective of the past and trying to sort of maintain things as they are, and her character arc is learning to have to deal with change that is beyond her control. And yeah, when we were like working on the film, this was sort of, during the pandemic, and um, and also, at a time where I feel like nostalgia was very much at the forefront of politics. And so I really wanted to make a story about somebody, I guess, who was um, perhaps attached to the past in a way that was like detrimental to their own growth. And yeah, so that was kind of what I think drew other people to that story as well. And yeah, that people sort of found attached to. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Why would people want to see your films? What is it about it that you think is a really strong hook to? I mean, we've talked about why you wanted to do it, and and what was important to you, either in terms of a story you wanted to tell, or in terms of your career development, or whatever. But what is it that is going to grab an audience? James, do you want to dive in there first?
Yes. First off the bat, why? I mean, I think it's a crazy journey, and there's all these kind of wild sci-fi concepts and elements. But at its core, it's a story about a man who's struggling to survive, and what that journey entails ultimately. And I think personally, that's pretty visually cool. It's a treat for the eyes.
Mhm. Did you have an audience demographic in mind when you were making it?
Um, I would say, yeah. I mean, it would appeal to a range of audiences, not necessarily. Yeah, we didn't necessarily have a demographic in mind. We just, yeah, we wanted to make something that was a visual treat, and sort of put spectacle and awe at the forefront, which I feel like appeals to uh, a rather wide range of people.
Okay, thank you. Rachel.
That's such a good question. I think obviously it's such a fantastical story and such an alien landscape. So I think the visuals and just the world is what catches people's eye most of the time. Um, and the characters as well. I think I hope people find them endearing. Um, and yeah, I've been told by other people that they read like a bit of an immigration themes in the story as well. So I've had a few people say that that's something that they really liked about the story and that they could relate to that side of it. Um, but yeah, it's a difficult question.
All right, Tasmin.
Well, why wouldn't you want to watch Grubber? That's my first point. It's a fantastical, creepy story. We have an amazing cast. Shirley Dom, our lead actress, who plays Anna, the older supermarket employee, does an amazing job of selling this creepy, obsessed character. The film opens up on a supermarket set that we built. It's We went to huge feats for this film, and I think everyone should see it. It was a great time. This It sounds amazing. We had an amazing score done by local composer Charmo, and basically just everyone put their hardest mahi into it, and it definitely shows on screen. It is an amazing story. It's beautiful set. It's I think you should see it to see how great it is.
All right, Acacia.
Damn, how can I top that? For fans of Ladybird, After Sun, Everything Everywhere All at Once, watch the film, you'll love it. So just an intimate kind of real portrayal of the mother-daughter relationship that doesn't necessarily end in an acceptance on both sides. I think that's kind of what we see a lot in the media is kind of a nice resolution, but I think um, kind of taking care of oneself and such is a lot more important before that step. So kind of refusing that inheritance is important too. So yeah.
All right, thanks. Um, in terms of moving forward, we're obviously looking back whenever we talk about a piece of content that somebody's made. But in terms of moving forwards, where have you gone since then, and what are you up to, and where are you trying to go? Rachel.
So yeah, I work in the VFX industry now as an animator, which is, I guess, a very different experience in some ways. It's always where I wanted to be. Um, but yeah, like it's such a different experience working on very large scale films from coming from like a very small, you know, tight-knit group of people. We're all quite close as a team and to now being like a very small part of like a very large machine. Um, I think for me it's I guess working on my career and improving my skills as much as I can there while also not losing myself to that and my own creative drive and wanting to make sure that I continue to um, create my own projects behind the scenes, whether that is, doing like game jams. I did a game jam with my partner earlier in the year, or making more short films, which I'm planning on doing, and just collaborating with other people outside of work and just keeping the flame alive for it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Tasmin.
Well, since producing Grubber and The Morning Sun, which I believe is also in Webfest, alongside it, I have produced about 8 or 9 short films in the last year or so, and worked on a couple others just here in Wellington. And I'd love to continue doing what I'm doing, and working in production and art department and that sort of thing, and just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and keep the creative path alive. Yeah, I love being in this atmosphere of creatives that I've surrounded myself with, and I want to keep working with them, but I also want to, you know, do bigger and bigger things as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, short films are notorious for not paying the bills. So, how are you able to still work in the industry and earn money, or do you have to go outside it to keep yourself paid and a roof over your head?
Yeah, well, I've done all these films, like with my friends and that sort of thing. Definitely at this stage, more of a passion. I work in hospo
Hmm.
and do that 30 hours a week alongside all of this. But yeah, we're just starting to do the post-production for everything else. So, the next step of doing more festivals and that sort of thing and seeing what gets picked up.
Yeah.
And yeah, just going to continue working and doing that, and one day it'll get me somewhere. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Acacia.
So I finished my master's at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of the first time I've not been studying. I never took a gap year or anything, so just working full time and trying to make films with the people in the course, trying to write and trying to find kind of that working, trying to do passion projects on the side balance at the moment, which has been tricky, but yeah, trying to write more. That's my goal for the next foreseeable future.
Have you been able to find work in the industry, or are you kind of paying
No,
the bills?
I kind of had, yeah, I kind of had the thought that it is obviously so hard at the moment, but I thought it would maybe kind of suck the joy out of it for me if I had to like come home and also work on film. But no, I'm also working retail full time as well, so not the industry at the moment.
Yeah, it's certainly been a bad year for anybody who does aspire to to work in production, particularly. But hopefully there are a few signs that might be changing now, which is encouraging. James.
Uh, yeah, I mean, one of the things that I really grew to love working on Temporal was art department and production design. And despite not technically being in that role, it was such a small team that myself and my co-director Weston Symes and the lead actor Charlie Jones, were in the workshop essentially every day working on props and costumes and set design work. And so this year going forward, I've sort of jumped into that on a number of projects. So we've collaborated as like a sort of creative collective of Aurora Vision, with like Snapshot Shorts and a number of other directors and the filmmaking community that's here in Wellington. That's just I'd say thriving. I'm sure Tasman can attest to that. And it's just been really cool to sort of branch out and help other people fulfill their creative vision. And I think looking to the future, we're excited to sort of jump back into producing some of our own writings, and we've been doing a lot of world building and creative exploration. So we're excited to jump into that next year.
Brilliant. All right. Well, good luck. hopefully there's more work generally around for people to benefit from, and hopefully that allows you the opportunity and the money to be able to put some focus into developing your own projects as well. I'm out of questions. Has anybody got anything that they particularly like to say? Either not necessarily about their own title, but generally in terms of how you're finding the screen industry at the moment. Resounding silence.
I mean, I think it's already been kind of spoken about that that there's not a lot going on in the screen industry for especially young filmmakers who've come um, out of tertiary education and are hoping to jump straight into a film set. Like, there are a few opportunities that show up, at least in Wellington, but it's I guess it's like any part of the job market at the moment. It's like a few hundred people all applying for the same thing, and so yeah, definitely there's a lot of hope that that's going to grow and there will be paid opportunities because the past year or so has been really creatively liberating, but it's not paid creative liberation. It's unpaid passion. So
Yeah, yeah. It feels a bit to me like how it was during COVID, to be honest. It's that my day job is I'm the editor of Show News, which is a sort of news and information service for the screen industry. And during COVID, there was a lot of people obviously stayed at home because they had no choice about it. But a lot of people spent that time either developing ideas that they hadn't had the time and opportunity to develop, or they just sort of decided, right, that's I'm stuck here. There's me and a computer. I'm gonna advance an idea and see whether it's got legs. And maybe when we get to the point of being able to sort of go and stand near other people again, then I'll be able to push this forward into production. It's sort of this year has felt quite like that to me, from the number of people I talk to, and there seems to be quite the flood of stuff that's being developed, and obviously it needs time and money to get to the point where you'd want to point a camera at it. But it does feel that dam is going to break at some point next year, and there's going to be an awful lot of production activity, either because there's a bit more money floating around again and therefore people are able to advance things, or because people have just got sick of waiting and they will decide to dive in and make things happen. Either way, I wish you all well for 2026 and what it has in store. But in the shorter term, I will wish you all well for our awards tomorrow, and somebody's going to be a winner. Thank you very much for your time today. It's been lovely to talk, and all the best.
Thank you so much for having us.
you.
It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully I get to see some of you in person tomorrow.
yeah, we're flying up tomorrow, so looking forward to being in Auckland.
Is everyone here from Wellington?
I I think, well, and Tasman is, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
unfortunately, I
Wellington.
can't make it. I couldn't take time off work for it. But yeah, I can't wait to see everyone's films. I've seen a couple already, and they're really fucking sick. So yeah, it's been good.